Hello, everyone. Welcome to InvoNews Podcast, episode 15. This is your host, Minal Ahsan. I'm the Business Development Manager at InvoZone. Today, we have Shiran Weitzman. He's the CEO and co-founder of Sheild Financial Compliance, right?
Correct.
Hi,
Pleasure to
Shiran.
be here, Minal. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. What's up?
Good. Everything is good. Everything is good here. We're speaking with you from Tel Aviv here. It's sunny, it's summer, and looking forward for some summer vacation.
Yeah, and we don't have much time difference. So it's afternoon and here as well, and yours. Okay, so are you in like Tel Aviv right now?
Yes, I'm currently I'm based in Tel Aviv, where our headquarters is also based. On top of that, we also have offices and operations in New York, London, and Lisbon. So that's how we are spread.
Perfect. So Shiran, why don't you just introduce our audience to Sheild FC and like how it came into existence, like how you decided to finding a company?
So yes, of course. So Sheild is an electronic communication compliance platform designed to help financial firms to manage their risk and mitigate their risk and manage their regulation challenges regarding electronic communications. Our ultimate job is to help them, on one side, keep evidence of all human interactions, regardless of the channels that they are doing so. So helping them archive it and retain it and find it upon requirements, so discovery and a lot of other cases and investigation. And the other element is to look for suspicious behaviors and look for bad actors within the employees of the bank or the employees of the firm. So there we are looking for suspicious behaviors related to financial crime or market manipulation. So that's basically what Sheild is doing. What basically we came to life on really doing everything here that I described end to end, which I believe still we are the only company in the world that really handles the entire lifetime of electronic communication end to end, or electronic communication compliance end to end, from the capture to the archive, to the discovery, to the case management, all the way to the surveillance and then the analytical layer, really end to end, handling both structured and unstructured data. And I think that this is one of the reasons why we decided to start a company, or Ofer and myself, who is my partner and co-founder, was to resolve this outrageous inefficiency and inaccuracy and lack of advanced technology within this domain. Because before we came, there were many point solutions that combined provided some service and some solution to the firms, but they were expensive, inefficient, inaccurate, and many other things, right? So we thought that basically we are able to provide electronic communication compliance as an infrastructure for the firm, where there we can, as if it's an infrastructure, well, it can provide record keeping requirements, it can provide market abuse requirement, it can provide FINRA or the CFTC or Dodd-Frank, regardless of the regulation, it can provide all needs if it's an infrastructure. As such, this is the way that we designed our platform and our technology stack. This is how Sheild came to life.
Yeah, so you were like clear about your focus, you were like focused and you were clear about your direction, right?
That was very important for us to be clear and accurate in what is it that we are planning to do. Yeah,
exactly. Sounds fascinating. Perfect. So Shiran, please let our viewers know that do you agree that the trend of compliant or the concept of being compliant increased for offices like after the pandemic?
So I think that the increase is an understatement, right? So, people are using much more different types of communications or different types of electronic and digital channels to communicate, right? I think that Zoom provided, Zoom and Teams and Microsoft provided information, and it is 200 times more compared the usage, the active daily users, the active, the number of chats, everything is 200 times higher than it was before the pandemic. But it goes all over the place. We all know that because we all work both in the office and at home. We all moved or reduced our travel time and our flight durations, or overall the number of flights that we are doing, and moved many meetings to an online meetings, to much more digital ways of communicating. Now, by the way, now we're starting to return a little bit more to a face-to-face and an office, but still, yeah, hybrid is here to stay. Because of that, we cannot ignore it. We cannot ignore it. It's accelerated the overall digital adoption and the overall usage of the individuals and the firms, because before COVID, financial firms didn't even think of allowing their employees to use WhatsApp, for example, right?
Absolutely.
For internal and external communication. Nowadays, it's starting to become standard for them to allow this, to basically take that as a baseline. Before that, it was forbidden, right? And everything was much slower. Nowadays, and you know what?
New normal.
I think, no, it will be even more. It will increase, because that's life, right? We want things. We are human beings. We are communicating more. We want to hear feedbacks. We are communicate faster now, right?
Yeah.
In the past, we were sending an email and we were expecting something to come in a week or two.
Yeah,
now
we
are
need to make the word shrink.
Yeah, much more immediate communication and immediate feedback, and we want to resolve things. So, the outcome of it is there is much more, it's much more data, to analyze, and the requirements from the regulators, from the firms, from the individuals are increasing. Therefore, there are increasing regulation adherence. So there is many more fines coming to just yesterday, I saw Goldman Sachs, and we saw JP Morgan. We see that Citi and Deutsche, and many more are on the spotlight because of record management of electronic communications. And yeah, it absolutely changed. It's not that it wouldn't happen if it wasn't any pandemic. It simply happened much faster. It was really accelerated over the last 2 years, and I think overall, all in all, I think it's a positive thing, but especially for Sheild. But still, there is a challenge here.
You're right, exactly. People are getting aware of the importance of data and data analysis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Shiran, going back to your initial days, like what were the starting days like? Like, were you an offer alone, or did you hire a team from scratch, like from start?
So first of all, it's important to say that our initial days were long days, right? It wasn't. We were a bootstrap in the first 3 years of Sheild. And when you're bootstrap, you are lacking many resources, right? You need to be efficient, and you need to be very, very lean in the way that we work. So the really early days, the garage days, it was really Ophir and myself, but soon after, we hired our first 2 developers, and in a very small and old and crappy office here in Tel Aviv, took a room, very small room, and we worked from there. And slowly, once as project came, and as we started to slowly increase the sales, we were able to hire 1 additional person, and then a product manager, and then a project manager. Slowly grew up, or slowly made some growth. So in 3 years, we grew from basically the 2 of us to about 30. That was bootstrap. Since a year ago, well, actually 14 months ago, where we closed our initial funding round, we were 30 back then. We are now about 100. So we tripled ourselves over the last year.
Great, great. Congratulations.
I don't know if congratulations, but that's the fact.
Like maintaining everything and being customer centric, like alongside and looking after each and everything, the changes, the environment, the economy and everything, and still growing and having success, it's still achievement. Smaller steps, but moving ahead.
Absolutely. There is always, we need to look at the achievements as well.
Yes. So are you planning to stick with the financial industry or looking forward to expanding your services to other industries as well?
For the time being, I'm looking on the next year, 18 months, we are going to stay and focus on the financial services and, basically our main business. It doesn't mean that in parallel, we are not, we are still looking for other initiatives. It's not that it's not that we will definitely going to do something and in our focus, but our focus still remains financial services and capital market and compliance and our current domain. But we do look for some alternatives, not alternatives, but some additional markets,
markets
that we can grow into and look into expanding our brand and capabilities outside.
Understandable. Yes, keeping a focus on one industry and improving the same, it's even a good idea as well. That improves faster.
Yes.
So
focus is important regardless, right? It's super important. So you are able to appoint the right resources into the main vector of operation.
Yeah. As long as you have the right team, the right partners and co-workers, yes, you can excel in every field.
Yeah.
And
you need to work hard so that you will have the right team. It doesn't come from it's not just paying money. We need to work hard in order to embed culture, in order to embed inside the company all sorts of work methods and capabilities that it will be really a successful and a customer-centric approach.
So the others have the same spark and ambition as you have. So Shiran, what were the areas you struggled with in the beginning, and or should I say the pain points, the challenges you faced initially?
Oh, it's a big question. I think that to be really humble, and I think that in every point in time, as a startup company, you are struggling, right? There is Ben Horowitz was writing a book on this, right? The question is just how you handle with the struggle. So the struggle can be on the financial part, right? How do you manage your payroll, right? And how do you it can be on the product side. How you can how do you know which product to prioritize, because you don't have endless amount of money and you need to be very sharp and accurate, right? So how do you choose the right feature, and how do you put aside the non-relevant, how do you decide what's relevant and what's not relevant? How do you pay your bills? How do you recruit? Who do you recruit when? Do you recruit a VP sales, or do you recruit a sales executive? All sorts of different challenges that you have along the way. The product challenges are always there. You always are struggling with which decision to take, which features to develop yes or no, right? So there is always challenges, but these days we have different challenges of growth, of scale, of culture and the pace within the companies, the right evaluation process, all sorts of. But the most important is our customers and how accurate are we towards our customers and basically solutions to the market.
Understandable, yes. So, the challenges are the reason that keeps you going, that helps you innovate and bring uniqueness to your, processes and whatever you're doing. So, yes, so you might have, learned a lot through those challenges and whatever, the things you struggle with, right?
Yes.
Okay, one interesting question, Shiran, is Sheild what you envisioned it to be?
In fact, yes, it's exactly what I envisioned it to be, and it's pretty amazing and surprising because sometimes you have some dreams and thoughts, and you hope that it will be there, but sometimes, and many startups are doing some pivots and some changes along the way. But then to see 5 years down the road, to see that it's exactly what I was looking for. Of course, I wanted to be even more aggressive. I wanted to be even more successful, but we are very, very successful. And to see it growing from something that, it was just the two of us in the garage, all the way to where we are now, that we are really serving global companies and global banks with a variety of solutions. And there is a huge team here that having the same drive. It's pretty amazing. Really, it's very fulfilling.
Yeah, it's something to be proud of,
It is to be proud. It's not only me, it's the entire team that to be proud of, but yeah.
And Sheild was able to adapt all those years. Like since 2018, you are being adaptable to the environment, to every change, to every challenge, and you have come ahead, quite ahead.
You have no other option. You need to be agile, and you need to be adaptive, and you need to be able to, even now, these days, with this financial slowdown and the challenges in the world, and we have to be adaptive, and we have to react all the time. It doesn't mean that we have to react the same way that everyone else are reacting, but you have to take actions. You have to do something, right? Either investing, either stopping. There is always be aware of the situation and the market and the domain and the regulation and the customers. Always. And the company status and the employee status and the technology. There is a lot of spectrums to
especially in compliance. Yeah, I can understand. So Sheild right now is helping its client in behavioral communication surveillance and communication data management, right?
Yes.
So what's the platform's core technology? If you can, brief our audience about that.
It's pretty complicated to just specify it in the podcast, but I would say that we know how to.
Yeah, main technology.
We know there are two main pillars, right? One, how to handle big data in scale and with accuracy, meaning we are not losing data. So how to handle big data, and it's unstructured data, so it's very complicated, the type of data, but big data, and then AI or NLP capabilities to analyze this. The two main pillars of the solution and everything around it. Then we build this platform for compliance officers, so it needs to be efficient for their work. It's not a generic analytical platform. It's a vendor specific or a subject matter expert specific.
Okay, so as you mentioned AI, so just for everybody to learn more out of it, what's the role of AI, or how AI is relatable to financial compliance industry? If you can shed light.
Yeah, so when we're looking on AI for electronic communication and compliance, we're really looking for AI is a mean to achieve something, right? So let's look on what is it that we want to achieve. We want to look on the employee behavior. right? We want to be able to detect employee behaviors, right? So how do we do that, right? So we analyze all his communication, voice, text, emails, whatever, right? All right, so how do we analyze this? How do we analyze it in an efficient way with noise reduction or with a boosters, right? So with a suppression, it's called, and a booster. How do we properly classify this? How do we use advanced supervised machine learning in order to do all of that? So we are using an area or several areas within machine learning called NLP, so natural language processing, in order to properly understand the sentiment and the meaning and the context of the communication, and based on that to classify it or suppress, meaning remove part of it or enhance some of it, and basically by scores. So NLP is a mean of understanding interactions, basically, right? Context and insights are based on that.
That is quite insightful. Thanks for giving vivid details on that. So how does Sheild serve the compliance team in offices?
What do you mean?
Like how is Sheild helpful for the compliance department or compliance teams in offices? Like we do have compliance departments separately.
Well, compliance departments eventually they need to use tools. Either they're doing things manually, right? They can do it manually with different systems, but if it's non-efficient and you need a lot of expensive compliance officer to do that. With our solution, we are reducing false positive, so the noise is dramatically reduced. So if, for example, someone is using a competitive system or several systems and get thousands of alerts per day, they have to review all the alerts. With Sheild, he will get hundreds of alerts or 100 alerts, right? And that's dramatic reduction, because instead of reviewing 5,000 alerts, I need, 20 people, right? With 100 or 200 alerts, I need 2 persons to handle that. It's dramatic change, and it's much more accurate and much more relevant. And I don't see too many things. I see only the important things. So there is a dramatic way of a dramatic change in the way that people are working.
So I must say that Sheild has brought revolution in compliance industry.
We are still trying to continue. Our aim is to continue bringing something like that all the time and in everything that we are doing. Yes.
And making it more interesting, right?
Yes, more interesting, more accurate, more visualization and different representation of the behaviors or the persons or the actors within the company and within that are playing, right? Basically, that we need to analyze, and that's our aim. That's our mission. Yes, one of our missions. Yes.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Okay, so Shiran, being the guy who has vast experience in RegTech, so let me know what trends are coming all the way, which are going to shape this industry.
What are they?
Or what trends are coming all the way to shape this industry?
So there are, different trends now. AI is a big trend. Messaging or mobile applications is a big trend. Retail is a big trend. All sorts of different challenges that are, regulation is also something that life is changing all the time. So really looking into how you can better capture, better analyze, and be more accurate with less people, right? More automation, more cloud. Cloud is a huge trend now for financial services, which isn't so trivial, right?
Yes, finance is itself trivial. The department, the compliance. That was informative. So that was the last question from my side. Anything from your side you would like to know?
No, it was
Okay.
a pleasure having this communication or this podcast with you.
Same here.
And looking forward to meet you in the future.
Sure, definitely we'll have some other meetup as well. Thank you so much, Shiran, for joining us and taking out time today. We had an interactive session, and good luck with Shield's continued growth and success.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much. Take care. Bye-bye.